All right, this time I'd like to call upon Gary Eberhardt, the President of the Board of Trustees, Mount Diablo Unified School District, to give the opening welcome.
Good morning, and I'd like to welcome everyone to Mount Diablo High School. I'm Gary Eberhardt, President of the Mount Diablo Unified School District Board of Education, and it is a great honor for our district to host the inauguration of incoming State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Torlakson. As the President of the Board of Education, I'd like to acknowledge members of our governing board, Vice President Sherry Whitmarsh, and board members Linda Mayo, Lynn Denler, and Cheryl Hansen, as well as our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Lawrence, and members of his staff. We stand together to welcome one of our own. He takes the reins of the state's highest office in public education. I'd like to also extend a special thanks to the entire staff of Mount Diablo High School for stepping up to offer your campus for this momentous occasion. Thank you very much. At a time when the state of California is facing huge challenges and public education is under constant financial attack, I'm glad that the voters of the great state of California have placed their trust in a person who has experience as a classroom teacher in the Mount Diablo Unified School District, has experience as a local elected official, and has experience as an education policy leader, and who is a person who has fought tirelessly for the needs of all children. Tom Torlakson brings experience to the Office of State Superintendent of Public Instruction, and he brings an ability to work collaboratively with lawmakers in Sacramento, as well as local communities around the state. And he will be able to move forward with a change an agenda to improve the state's education system. We need fundamental change in Sacramento. We need stable and adequate funding. We need to make sure that state mandates are funded. We need more of an emphasis placed on teaching of critical thinking and less on testing. We need English language learner programs that work. We need comprehensive school-to-career programs. We need physical education programs that teach our students a lifelong desire for fitness and health. And our children need lawmakers in Sacramento who will work together to solve the problems that we face. With Tom Torlakson at the table, I'm confident we will achieve higher and greater success. What I like about Tom is he's involved in the policy debate, and he has been for decades. He understands the issues of the districts are facing statewide, and he will bring that understanding to the table for the discussions and the debates that we will all be taking part in. As funding in the state of California is slashed in an effort to balance the budget, I'm glad that Tom Torlakson will be at the table fighting for the needs of the millions of public school students in the state of California. Tom, we welcome you to Mount Diablo High School, and we appreciate your willingness to step into the office of State Superintendent of Public Instruction and continue your work as an advocate for all students. We in the Mount Diablo Unified School District stand ready and willing to help you in your efforts to improve education statewide. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the presentation of colors by the Mount Diablo High School Junior ROTC.
Left wheel, march. Flag arc, hold, raise, set, arm.
Leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning will be Deshaun Woodbridge, one of Tom's students at Los Medanos College.
If everybody can please join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You guys are great.
And please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem being performed this morning by the Ladies First Choir from Concord High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn
once again welcome all of you to this special occasion, the inauguration of the State Superintendent of Public Instruction. My name is Tim Sabrani. I'm a teacher and coach at Dublin High School and mayor of the city of Dublin. And it's an honor for me to be here as master of ceremonies for this special event where we inaugurate my friend and mentor, Tom Torlakson. Now, many of you know Dublin is not officially in Contra Costa County, just outside the county line. But for those of you that know me know that my family has been in Contra Costa since the 1800s. And as someone with deep roots in Contra Costa County, and I think those people who not only have roots but live in Contra Costa can all be proud of the fact that we have just elected our first statewide officer, Tom Torlakson, to the office of State Superintendent. Anyone that was following the election results on June 8th, the primary, knows, hitting refresh every 30 seconds at 4 in the morning, knows what a close election that was. And it really was, the margin of difference was Contra Costa County that put Tom over the top in the primary and allowed Tom to run in the general election in November. So I think you need to give yourself before we get started this morning, we do have some special guests we'd like to recognize that are here with us. First, we'd like to recognize someone who's been a national leader on public education on Capitol Hill, our very own Congressman George Miller. We're very pleased to have with us our former State Superintendent of Public Instruction, highly respected all throughout the state, Delane Easton. We have our Education Secretary under Governor Schwarzenegger here with us, Dave Long. Welcome. We have one of Tom's closest friends and our very own State Senator, Mark DeSaulnier. State Assemblywoman Susan Bonilla was also here earlier. She had to leave for Sacramento, but she gives her regards to everyone, a teacher here for many years in the Mount Apple Unified School District. We also have our supervisors with us, John Joya and Karen Mitchoff. We'd like to recognize them. And I think most importantly, we have several people here, several leaders who make the difference on the ground level in California serving our schools. We have many teachers, many classified workers, many administrators, school board members, members of the Department of Education. We would like all of you at this time to stand and be recognized for what you do for public education in California. And I think as a reminder, one of the things that I always remembered from Jack O'Connell, he always talked about within the Department of Ed, is our clients are our students. And that's what it's all about. We have many of our students here with us, both attending the ceremony to witness this momentous occasion, as well as participating in a variety of ways. So let's give them a round of applause. I mentioned in the beginning how Tom is my mentor, but there's someone here who has known Tom longer than just about anyone in this room and who served as Tom's mentor when he was a high school student at Westmore High School in the Peninsula. And he's here with us this morning. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Tom's former coach, Robert Lahati. Coach, that's your opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much. It's, as what everyone has said, it's a real honor to be here today to talk about Mr. Torlakson, one of the best and most determined athletes I was ever fortunate enough to coach. I taught in Northern California at the Jefferson High School District for about 7 years, and I had Tom my last couple of years at Westmore High School. And we always I was reminded a number of years ago from one of my professors who was the Dean of Physical Education at San Francisco State University. He said, Bob, he says, no matter how long you stay in education, whether it's 5 years, 50 or 60 years, hope not 60, they're always going to be at your throat. One of the things that is eliminated, especially when we're in this financial situation we are, it's always physical education, athletics, and the arts. Our objective at the community college district where I still teach is to offer every student a complete education. And as an ancient Greek philosopher said, number of 3,000 years before Christ, mens sana in corpore sano, a sound mind in a sound body. And Tom was one of those people that epitomized that saying. When he competed for us, he was one of the top middle distance and long distance runners in Northern California at the time. And he was the kind of athlete that we teach athletes. I'm his track coach, so I have to teach kids how to throw, how to jump, how to run fast, how to run slow, how to run forever. That's what Tom has done. It's not an easy thing to teach. One of the most difficult things, and I think it's really more innate than it is taught or learned, is the willingness to work and work and work, and when you're tired, work a little harder, but you never give up. You never throw the towel in. If there's any contribution that's given to a student's education, it's that experience that he or she gets in athletics. And Tom was the epitome of that. I can't think of a contest where Tom ever gave up. He always thought he could win. I said, Tom, you're a winner. You're just going to keep working at it. And he's been that way his whole life. As a politician, and you know, we worry about things today in terms of politics. Everybody's got to pay what they say is their political dues. Well, we're very fortunate that Tom is now our superintendent of public education, and the fact that Tom will do whatever he thinks is right and just, and he will never stop working towards that point. He's one of those kind of people as he doesn't know how to go down without a fight, and especially if he knows he's right, and he's always right. Yeah. Except when I tell him run up that hill one more time. But I've been a privileged individual having coached Tom. I look at Tom and I say, well, gee, Tom, the only thing you got over me is maybe 1 or 2 more gray hairs. But I don't want to ask him how old he is, because when he tells me, I said, well, I must have started coaching you when I was about 6 or 7. But anyway, I just came here to mention a couple things about Tom and what he's meant to the program at all high schools. Our track team had almost 160 kids on it. That's a lot of students participating. And I used to follow them, all my athletes, academically as well as an athlete. And at Westmore High School, you had to get A's and B's to be on the honor roll. And Tom was a straight A student in every aspect. And 85% of the students that were on the honor roll were all involved in athletics one way or another. It doesn't mean they were all state champions. It doesn't mean they all won every time, but they were participants. They learned what it's like to work towards an objective and work as hard as they could. I know you have many other speakers to speak today, but anyway, I would just like to congratulate our new superintendent of schools, Tom Torlakson.